Yeah, so I'm Hunter. So I'm
Hi. Now that you took this down, I know who you are.
yeah, and then
I'm Joe. I'm a sophomore accounting student.
Okay, Hunter, what year are you again?
I'm a sophomore. This is my first year at FDU. I transferred here last year.
But I met you. I remember meeting you.
Yes, yeah, at one of the events last semester at in the library. One of the
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, and Ethan, you're here, but I can't see you. So I'm assuming you're somewhere where you can't put your camera on. Louie, hi Louie.
Yes.
And so,
I'm driving.
oh, who's driving?
Louie.
Be careful. All right, so we have two sophomores. Ethan is a senior in the +1, and Louie, you're a freshman. Zoe, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, my name is Zoe. I'm a sophomore at the Metro campus, and I'm a marketing student with a minor in graphic design.
Nice to meet you, Zoe. I've heard of you from Paige. She speaks highly of you. So nice to put a face to the name. All right, well, it's a small group, so we'll keep it really informal, and Mary, pipe in whenever you want, but who here, I know, who here doesn't know anything about what the professional development program is or what placement and outreach department is and what we do?
Be honest, guys.
I mean, I don't yeah, I can know more about it.
Well, you're, and that makes sense because you're a transfer student, and I'm actually working with some marketing classes on better ways to communicate our programs out, and I'm in the midst of reading their first I don't even know what it's called, but submissions, and what's a market that's being identified as transfer students, that when the transfer students come in, they really don't know about us and what we do. So it's something we're going to target going forward. So for those of you that know this, I'm sorry if I'm repeating ourselves, but we're placement and outreach, separate and distinct from the Career Development Center in the Student Center, which is university-wide. We are just primarily focused on the students within the business school. So you get a specialized service, which is part of your tuition, and it's part of a perk of being a business student. And Mary is the one who heads up the group. So it's placement outreach, and she also works a lot of time on alumni relations, which kind of interlaces with professional development because we like to draw in our alumni. So that's an integral piece to the program. So basically, in simple terms, the professional development program, all that is an umbrella for all the services we offer career coaching wise to complement your academic studies. So before I worked here, when Mary first came on board, they worked with some of our employer partners, and the employer partners gave feedback saying, your students are really smart. They're academically, they're super prepared, but there's these other things besides academics that we would like them to be able to master it for the ideal candidate coming out of school. And by the way, we're, a lot of schools do this, so we're not unique to it, but I think we're one of the front runners. I think Mary put this program together before a lot of our peer institutions. So basically, a group from Silberman worked with a group of employers and said, what skills do for all these different things, what's important? And they identified them, and they built a program around it to make sure that all the Silberman graduates are super prepared to hit the ground running once you graduate, and actually even before you graduate. Because anyone who's been around for a while, like Ethan, he knows that, and that I have hammered it into him, that we want students to have internships and work experience prior to graduation, if at all possible. So that's basically the program. And how do we do that is all different ways. We do one-on-one coaching. So any student can make an appointment with myself or Mary or Paige on the other campus for one-on-one resume review, interview prep, just coming in and saying, I don't even know where to start, all that kind of stuff. So we do one-on-one career coaching, but we also offer events and workshops, and we try and mix them up a little bit each semester. We have an app called Suitable. If you've never, Hunter, have you heard of Suitable?
Yeah, I used Suitable from the last school I was at.
Oh,
they used
really? Where were you, Hunter?
Rutgers.
Oh,
That's my alma mater.
Yeah,
Okay, so you use Suitable there, and you know, it has a lot of different facets, so I'm not sure if they used it in the same way. But here, what we do is we use it just to track your performance in your what we call co-curricular activities. And it's basically an electronic portfolio of what you're doing besides your academic studies. We try and make it fun. It's like a platform design, kind of like gaming, so that if you fulfill different criteria in different areas, you can earn badges, you can earn bronze, silver, or gold. And then eventually, if you fulfill all the competencies, then you get a PDP certification, and we give you an honor cord to wear at graduation. But the bigger thing is it's something you can put on your resume. And if I'm interviewing you, I'm going to say, what's this professional development program certification? Because, you know, that's what interviewers do. They look at stuff on your interview, and then you can go into and tell them about all these things you did above and beyond your academic performance that will distinguish you from other candidates. Does that make sense?
yeah, yep.
So we do all kinds of events. Mary, how did the 1776 site visit go today?
it was great. We had about 10 students and we went to Morristown to 1776. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but it's a new restaurant right on the green. It's fabulous. It has a Top Golf, the virtual golf, and one of our alum is a part owner. So he gave the students a fabulous tour. And then they got to meet Chef David Burke. We took a couple of photos. It was great. It was about an hour and a half. It was an experience they would never have gotten. And Jasmine, one of the students, talked to the alum who was part owner about getting an internship there. And he was like, sure. And another student that wasn't even Silberman, she was a hospitality major that just happened to see it on LinkedIn, was talking to David Burke. So it was like these students would never have had these opportunities. So it was really cool. So I don't know why you guys didn't sign up for that.
And that's part of our challenge. Like, first of all, I'm bummed I couldn't go, but at the last minute I had to come pick up my daughter at college. So, you know, mother stuff first. But that's not only is it a cool thing to do and you get great information, but all of these events are wonderful networking opportunities. The majority of them, we pull in alum, and alum want to give back, especially successful alum. And let's be honest, those are the alums you want to network with. So like but one of our challenges is we put on these great events, and, you know, how many business students are there? And we had 10, and one of them was a hospitality. Like, it was such a great opportunity, and we get frustrated. And we know sometimes it's scheduling. We're not sure if it's communication. You know, we struggle with this. So we would love your feedback on how to perhaps increase our participation, because sometimes, you know, we're not sure how much impact we're having. But for instance, if you come to these events, you get points. If you come to me for career coaching, you get points. And hopefully, so everyone here has Suitable? Show of hands. Great. We're gonna we just implemented Suitable about 2 years ago. So we're really upping the ante with it. We're gonna make it a lot more fun and a lot more visible. We have monitors that we're ordering that we're gonna put in each suite on each campus. And we're gonna put, you know, acknowledge some of our leaders. We're going to do some different campaigns to make it fun and have some giveaways. So we know you're busy. We know some of you are athletes. We know some of you have jobs to help pay for school, plus you have a full-time load. So we know that the thing that falls off the calendar first is the voluntary things like the PDP program. It's, you know, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do it to graduate, although at some schools, their career development is mandatory to graduate. So we're trying to make it fun, and we're trying to engage, and any input or feedback you can give us, any ideas on how we can make it better or get better student turnout? Not to put you guys on the spot, you could always email.
That's a Jack initial answer.
Yeah, we want your feedback. Give us your feedback, honest feedback. We won't get offended.
And actually, Jack, not to offend you, Jack is one of the biggest participants. So I don't really want feedback from Jack because he's engaged. I would like someone who's never come to an event or or has done very little with Suitable, that's really who I'd like to hear. And I'm not, like Mary said, we want honest feedback. It doesn't hurt our feelings.
No, I'll say, I don't know. I mean, for me at least, like, I feel just like to meet for like, are you talking about like meet like at like this specific time?
Well, we stagger them. Like the events are different. Like today, the on-site visit was, what was it, 1 o'clock, Mary? I don't even know what time, 2
It was
o'clock?
at two grade.
Yeah,
And then-
so like I didn't even like really know about that. So I mean, like maybe I'm not like in touch with like the social like media, but like I assume that was up on like social media and stuff, right?
Yeah, we put it on social media. We email the stuff.
Is that just like the business school social media?
Yeah, the Silberman College.
Yeah.
So what do you think's a better way? What would be the best way to get the message out?
I mean, people are always like sometimes I feel like it's like to get people there, you have to have like an incentive. So like, and like, I'm not saying like you have to like, or like you have to like buy something to like get an incentive, but I mean, people will definitely like, so like Suitable, like if you like can like earn Suitable points and that could like mean something that's like more important, I feel like that could be something that could like be an incentive.
So like, for instance, right now you earn points in Suitable, but to you, you're not motivated by that because to you don't know what that means or how it,
Right.
what it does.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't really know what like those points mean. Like if I get
Even after I just gave you my pitch. You're
no, like I understand like after
copying,
you told me,
if you
but
look up,
yeah, just like as like I guess like I don't know, like an average person, like someone who doesn't know.
it's
Yeah.
too intangible. Like for me
Yeah.
to say, like, trust me, if you do these things, you have a better chance getting an internship or a job. It's too intangible.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. And I guess I don't know. I guess what we're struggling is how to fill that gap, like, or that connection, like turning the intangible into a tangible. I mean, we'll do giveaways every now and then, but I don't know. You know, I'm not. I guess that's so. Any feedback on that is appreciated. So that's Suitable. We have all kinds of events. If you're not, the beginning of each semester, we announce our different events. We try and engage faculty to share information in their classes. We also ask them, you know, if they could possibly bring their classes to some of the events if the topics overlap. Sometimes you get extra credit. So, all right, that's something to think about. So that's a tool we use within placement and outreach for career development. And then another tool we have is Handshake. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Handshake or not. So Handshake, basically, for those who don't know, it's an application that the university subscribes to. So everyone has an account in there, whether you go in and create all the stuff in it, and your profile is another story. But there's a feed from our student data legacy system to Handshake every semester. It's a manual feed, it's a sloppy feed, it's not great, but there is a feed. So everyone should have an account. Hunter, probably when you first, since it's done manually, if you transferred after the date it was done, then you didn't. But you know, anyone who doesn't have one can call me and we can create it. So in there, basically what this is, there's only two folks that subscribe to Handshake. Universities, and there's over 700 universities that use Handshake, and companies or firms or organizations that are looking to get in front of students or recent alumni. And they're trying to connect with recent students for either internships, paid or unpaid, or experiential learning opportunities, or entry-level positions. And they can do that through a number of ways. They can post information sessions within the events section. They can also post jobs and internships. So there's like a job search function within Handshake, which is really cool. There's all kinds of filters. You can filter by whatever you want, and then it comes up with all your matches. They can also message you directly. So I don't know. Can I share?
Yeah, you share your screen.
I don't know if it's worthwhile to go through this. I don't want to bore people, Jack. I'm happy to do a quick demo, but I don't know if people
Sure.
think it's beneficial.
Honestly, why not? Just a good refresher, you know, if they're looking to get into any internships for the summer or the fall.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Here.
Oh, I'm on mute? No, I think it'd be a good idea, you know, just go over a refresher, just.
Okay,
you know,
I
how
can
the
do a real
position-
quickie.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. Oh, I might need my phone to. Oh no, I'm in here. Oh, you only go fast. All right, who should I use? Anyone want me to use them or not use them?
Yeah, use me. Why not?
Okay. Oh, there's a lot of jacks. Now, this is not what it looks for you folks. This because I'm going to switch to Jack in a minute. Okay. So when you guys log in, let's see, you can see everything, right? And this, I'm obviously on my laptop. You can do this on your phone. It's mobile app. So this is what it looks like when you log in. This inbox, this is where employers will be sending you messages. And the question I get a lot from people are like, well, aren't those just automated and they're going to 100 people? Maybe some of them are, and maybe some of them aren't. But do you like, isn't it worth your time to go through them and answer them if it's something you might be interested in? Because you don't want to miss out on something. So like, for instance, just like you can filter, employers can go in here and say, I want to see all sophomores with a GPA of 3.2 or greater that are majoring in business admin. So if your profile isn't set up, it's just not going to pick you up. And then they can send a message to all those people. Or they could go in and do it individually. So that's important to look at those. The two main parts of Handshake that we use right now are events and jobs. So in events, have any of you attended any of our virtual recruiting fairs? This is how you do it. So in here, the Career Development University Center, they post some stuff if they're holding workshops or whatever. We post our stuff in here. It's just another way we try and let you guys know what's going on. But also individual subscribers can, like Mountain Ridge Country Club. They're doing a recruiting thing that had nothing to do with FDU. They're a subscriber. They put it on here. They probably also invited Seton Hall and Rutgers or whoever. So it's worth looking through here and seeing, is there something for you? Because, it's just another way for employers to get, I'm dating myself, but when Mary and I graduated from college, you literally would look in the newspaper in the classifieds to find stuff. This is how I'm sure most of you are aware of Indeed and LinkedIn to look for jobs. This is similar to that, but it's more concentrated. The employers know that the people on this platform are students, so they're not looking for someone 20 years experience. And if they are, that's silly on their part. So, like for instance, Cone Resnick, Jackson accounting major. I don't know if any of the rest of you are. Cone Resnick is doing info sessions on here. They're trying to recruit. They're trying to get in front of students. I had nothing to do with this. They posted this. So it's another way. If say I'm a freshman or a sophomore accounting student, I want to get in front of Cone Resnick because when I'm a junior, I want to intern with them. I would try and attend one of these sessions. This is an opportunity for you to connect with the recruiter from one of our major accounting firms in the area. Deutsche Bank is hosting something. Google, ask a Google recruiter. You can go to this and a recruiter from Google will talk to you about resume. That's pretty cool. I mean, I talk to you about your resume, but the more input you get, the better. This is a recruiter. So there's some good things in here. Check it out when you can. It's another opportunity to network and get in front of employers. So that's events. The big one is jobs. Oh, before we go to jobs, I'm going to pick on you, Jack, with your profile. Now, I haven't even looked at it. For all I know, it's perfect. But I know many of you probably think about LinkedIn profiles. I would urge you to work on your Handshake profile before your LinkedIn. And by the way, I would say like 90% of it's transferable. See here, where Jack has a picture here. It's he put that same picture on his LinkedIn profile. He probably does. My journey is the about me on LinkedIn. So there's a lot of overlap. But if you're going to the recruiting fair, say I'm Google and I'm going to the recruiting fair and people have signed up for one-on-one sessions. I'm going to go in the day before and see who signed up, and then I'm going to look them up on Handshake and look at their profile. So Jack has something here, but a lot of our students do not. And I'm not saying there's part of that's my fault, because the community, they're not even aware that this is a tool for them to use. So try and make sure, if you're not going anywhere warm over spring break and you're bummed out about it, spend some time working on your Handshake profile. If you have a resume, you can upload your resume and it will pull stuff. The GPA will not be pulled from the feed. You have to put the GPA in if you want it to show. So that's the profile. Now we go back to jobs. This is the search function. I always tell people it's like Match.com. The better your profile, the better it matches you with opportunities, but you don't even have to worry about that. You can do anything. Say you want to work for, I don't know, yell at a company, someone, your dream company.
Deloitte.
So you can just search for Deloitte and see if anything comes up. Look at that. So Deloitte does not hire freshmen as interns, but guess what? They have an experiential program for summer of 22. You don't get paid, but it's usually a day or two. All the big firms have these programs, and all the big firms are very, very interested in hiring students from underrepresented populations. So not only do they do it for everyone, they have special, and not just accounting firms, by the way. A lot of organizations are doing this. They have special ones that for students that identify as an underrepresented population. And you got to read through it, because every firm's definition of underrepresented population is different. Some say include females in that. Some do not. Like finger paint does not include females in it. Barclays does. I actually was looking at one today that first time I saw this, first generation college graduates. I never saw that as an underrepresented population, but hey, if you are in one of those underrepresented populations, and that like right here, this one, it defines what they consider underrepresented. So this one, it's Black or African American, Hispanic or Latinx, American Indian or Alaska Native, Native Hawaiian or other, or two. Okay, so that's very distinct. But if you belong to one of these, definitely take an opportunity of this. The firms are really, really they're making a very big effort to do better at diversity and inclusion. And I don't think it's just talk. I really see a lot of effort from just when I started this job 2 years ago. So that's something to think about. But again, I'm off on a tangent. I just wanted to show you can put in Deloitte, and it's going to show you all the opportunities over here on the left, where I don't know why I put that up, suit up, but I don't know why I brought those up. But here's, like, for instance, so the opportunities are on your left. Then when you click on it, all the information comes up on the right. It tells you about the role. These are the important dates. So it was posted in January. They're taking applications up until 31st. I always say, don't wait till, the morning of the 31st to post, because if 15 people better than you did it on January 15th, they're going to fill those roles and you're out of luck. But it tells you about the role. It usually tells you about the company, what they're looking for. This part I get some confusion on when it says you match all, because if it does it, sometimes it'll say you match 2 of the 4, and students are like, well, I couldn't apply because of that. You can apply, you just might not get it. So this is their ideal candidate. So don't think because Handshake is telling you don't match all the things that you can't apply. And then you have then you have a way to apply. So that's my little quick and dirty Handshake. Does anyone have any questions on it?
Anyone on Zoom have any questions?
You can sort this. What I like to do, because I go in here so much, relevance is great, but it's also date posted, because you don't want stale postings. So you can do date posted and then search. Like if I don't even know if we put anything's in here. There you go. Finger paint. It's a healthcare industry marketing agency located in. So I put that. I said, the most recent ones for this. So it was posted January 7th. And it lists all the postings. You could also do it by location. Like you say, well, you know what? I live in Staten Island. I don't want to work, I'm not working in Cedar Knolls. I don't want an internship in Cedar Knolls this summer because then I'd have to get an apartment and I can't afford that. So you can put it in Staten Island. You can set the distance, whatever you want. Just be aware, the more filtering criteria you put on here, the less results you're going to get. Internship. You can say, I only want to look at paid internships because I can't afford to do one for free. So 917 jobs. You can even put in major area. So then it shows you all the different things based on that criteria. But it takes time. And, I get a lot of students saying, hey, I really want an internship. Can you help me? And I'm happy to help. But don't rely on me to send you an email and match you with an internship. Does that happen sometimes? Sure. Or Mary or Paige. But this is a process. And the more you work the process, the better the chance of good results. So I have students that come to me and say, Pat, I'm super discouraged. I applied for 10 internships and I haven't heard back from anyone. And I'm not saying that's not good activity, but it's not good enough. Like there's a Hunter, you got a good story, but there's a lot of kids out there that have good stories. So you got it. It's like the law of large numbers. Or if you play sports, soccer, you take a lot of shots on goal. So you just got to keep at it. And when you're doing this, keep track, keep a spreadsheet of what you applied to, the company, the person, the date you applied, any interaction you had. We did a panel discussion, gosh, I'm losing track of time, a couple semesters back with students. Students were on the panel that landed their dream internship. And I think it's on our YouTube channel if you have time, if you want to watch it. And they were giving advice to other students because I think it's a little bit more powerful than me sitting here telling you guys these are your peers. And what came out of that I thought was really important for the students to hear is because I think they hear the success story because we put it on social media and we're like, oh, look at so-and-so, they have this great internship that led to a job. But what they didn't know is that same person applied to 85 and had an internship prior to that was not an ideal experience, but that they learned from. So, I think the biggest thing is if you work the process, you got to spend a couple, you got to spend the time looking in Handshake. You also should use LinkedIn and Indeed or any other search boards to supplement. You can also target companies' websites. If you say, or an industry, say you're like, well, I'm a chemistry undergrad with an MBA and I want to work for a pharmaceutical company. Well, guess what? You're in the middle of the pharmaceutical industry. So you can make a research, pharmaceutical companies in New Jersey, and you get a list, and then you go to their websites. And or you just write, here, I can even do it. You can just type Google, like Novartis careers or Novartis internships, and it'll take you to that part of their website where they post jobs. So that's another way. You can go directly to companies' websites. So I feel like I'm boring you, so I don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah, boring me out. Believe me, I'm learning a lot. Anybody?
You too.
It's a multi-pronged approach. I'm not saying just use Handshake and you'll get a great internship. I want you to use Handshake. I want you to have your resume reviewed. I want you to look at, I want you to come to our events and network. Networking is key. I mean, you might not want to hear that because I know a lot of students and some, friends and family, they're like, well, I want to get it based on my merits because I worked really hard for my 3.8. And it's like, yeah, you did. But guess what? If you have a connection, they're not going to get you the job, but they're going to get you looked at. So if I'm a recruiter and I have 500 resumes, but my neighbor comes to me and says, Zoe Williams babysat my kids and she's amazing and she's graduating with this. And I just thought maybe you could take a look at her resume. I'm going to look at it. Whether that's fair or not, that's just the reality. That doesn't mean I'm going to call Zoe. It doesn't mean I'm going to hire Zoe, but it increases Zoe's chances. So that's the other thing. When you apply for something, let Paige and/or I know. Maybe we have a connection there. Maybe we don't. You look at LinkedIn. Look at my connections on LinkedIn and see if I'm connected to anyone at that company. And if I am, shoot me an email or call me and say, Pat, you know what? I just applied for this role at Signify and I saw that you're connected to so-and-so. Could you give me a soft introduction or can you give me a personal recommendation? Happy to do it. So all these different things, it's not one thing. It's not like, well, if you just look at Handshake, I guarantee you get a job. Or if you just come to the PGB events, I guarantee you'll get a job. Or if you get a 3.8, you're going to get a job. It's all these things woven together. Does that make sense? And network the key. All of you guys live somewhere where you have neighbors. Think of past teachers, past coaches, places you work. I had a student once who told me they wanted to get into like management, sports, like a club management, like a country club management. And I said, well, where do you work now? And the student was working at the Rumson Fairhaven Golf Course. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that area, but it's one of the wealthiest areas in New Jersey. Like it's where Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen live. Come on. And I was like, well, guess what? You need to be telling everyone you caddy for. You need to be networking with those folks. Have your elevator pitch ready. And not for the elevator, have it ready for whenever. If you're home on spring break and you're in the grocery store and one of your buddies, you run into the father and like, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? Oh, you know what? It's great. I transferred to FDU. I'm loving it. I'm studying, I don't know what you're studying, Hunter, so forgive me. I'm studying finance. I'm part of the student managed investment fund, and I'm looking for an internship to complement that. By the way, do you know any? Oh, I forgot you work at Merrill Lynch. Can I send you my resume? Right?
Yeah.
And I know, and I remember being your age, and I never would have done that. So I'm putting that out there. It's cringy, and not to be sexist or generous. I think females, we're worse at it than men. I don't know why, but I think we tend to underestimate ourselves. But you know what? People want to help people. When I've gotten neighbors internships, Mary has too. Like, you want to help, especially if it's someone who babysat my children, or it's someone I think highly of. Why would I not? And by the way, if I'm referring to that person, I feel like I'm helping them out too. They're looking for good people. Why not someone I know? Why not you?
All right, does anybody have any questions for our wonderful guest speakers that came in today? Anyone? Anyone on Zoom? Any questions? Like, they're here now, so.
Feel free to make an appointment or even stop in. We're in the mansion, first floor, the Silberman, the student services suite. I'm right by the academic advisors. I know you have to go see your academic advisors. I'm guessing pre-registration is going to be soon.
Yeah.
So when you go in, Paige is in, she sits, my counterpart on the other campus, she sits in the suite there next to the academic advisor. Stick your head in, say hello. Now that things are getting somewhat back to normal, we're going to hopefully start ordering food again for you guys to stop in and get a cookie or chips or something. If you're in between classes, we have couches there where you can hang if you don't feel like sitting in your car or the cafeteria or whatever. So it's always a pleasure to meet you guys.
All right.
Hope to see you.
All right, that is all. Thank you so much for doing this on such short notice. We greatly appreciate it here. We really give our members some good career advice on, how to use Handshake and, and also how to network. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Everyone in the club, just please stay behind. We got a couple announcements to make about our next meeting.
All right. Bye, Jack. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Jack. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. See you later. Everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Paige. Paige.
Wait, hold on, I'm typing.
Gone. Paige, they left. It's.
Goodbye.
Okay. Okay, so. On myself.